before, I did a lot of other things for women's rights too. Because if you look on there, there's a lot of pictures of women's clothing in the 1860s. It's a lot. Look at those dresses, aren't they really? They're kind of hard to wear. You have a corset too. I mean, imagine wearing that around all day in really hot weather. It's brutal, huh? Yeah, they would tie it as tight as possible too. So. Exactly. That would be women's clothes. But those are pictures of me up top. I refuse to wear all that stuff too, because it was so restricting. And to be a surgeon and actually perform the work that I'm supposed to perform, you can't do that in that type of clothing. It's baggy. You get sucked in. It takes a lot of work to wear a corset. It's all physically draining. Yeah.
When you sit down
you don't do much sitting. It's pretty much like a basket, and from what I'm told, it's made out of metal most of the time too. So you have this like cage thing that's hanging down, and you're sucked in up here. I can't imagine that to be too comfortable. Yep, that's what the inside of that dress looks like. That's exactly it. My choice is to wear this. To be a professional surgeon and a professional working woman, that is not possible. I cannot wear something like that and actually do my job. So I chose to wear this, and I actually got arrested numerous times for wearing men's clothes. People looked down upon it. I was like, I can't even count how many times I got arrested for walking around in pants and a suit coat. I mean, look at this. This is so much more comfortable than, can you imagine wearing one of those dresses? No way. It's awful. It was more socially acceptable. That's what it really is. It was looked down upon to wear anything but that. And, yeah.
How do they fucking do that dress?
I think there's a little give to them. I'm pretty sure there's a little give. They bend a little bit. It's still made out of metal regardless, but you know how there's some bendable metals and things like that? I mean, it does, but it just, yeah, that's pretty much what it is, but not very comfortable. So I refuse to wear that, and a lot of my work that I did, I went around the country. I went to England, I spoke in England, and I talked about dress reform, which means that I wanted to change the way that women were allowed to dress in public. I mean, almost all of you are wearing pants today, right? Right? Is everyone wearing pants? Everyone's wearing pants. Almost everyone. Almost everyone. But you wear pants. I'm sure you wear pants. But think about it. Think about it if you had to walk around every day in a wire little basket and have your gut sucked in and no pants. You couldn't run around. Sports wouldn't really be that possible. I mean, how many of you play sports? Does anyone play sports? Run around or active? Yeah, like almost everyone. Think about it. There's a lot of things you can't do if you're in one of those dresses. Yeah. Think about horseback riding with no pants. That'd be so awful. The other thing would be awful. And so I went around talking about it, trying to make it more socially acceptable for women to wear pants. And I mean, I got in a lot of trouble for it. Yeah?
Girls have to sit on horses if they go to the mountains.
You ever seen any old movies?
Side saddle.
Yep, side saddle. That is. Never seen that? The side saddle, 2 legs on one side of the saddle? Because as a lady, you're supposed to sit like that, but it's not really functional. So, there's so many things. Like, think about it. Remember how I told you I went to Hygienic Therapy Institute? They also talk about how cleanly, like, certain clothing is. And if you have one of those skirts dragging around all the time, that's not very clean. You're dragging around dirt and all these different particles with you everywhere. And as a mother, like having to wear something like that, and you have a whole household to take care of, think about something like that. It's not functional. The other thing I went around and I did a lot of talks about clothing and things like that. I also went and talked to people about religious values. I talked about how alcohol and tobacco use should be banned. My belief is that tobacco leads to paralysis and insanity out over time. If you do it long enough, those are my views on it. It's just something that's absolutely terrible for you. It weakens your mind, and if you want to have a very productive life, you wouldn't do anything along those lines. But so I even wrote books about this too. I wrote books about how the ideal woman would have equal labor opportunities. Like, how many of you have a mom that works? Yeah, a lot of you. And dad, does anyone have dads that stay home too? Or, well, my dad does sometimes, so. But a lot of your moms would have been home home all day, staying with your family, and instead of actually going out, been able to go to school or anything like that. So as time goes on, there's a lot of women of this time that do a lot to ensure that women of our time can wear pants and can go to school and can play sports on top of it. Think about how a different life would be without all these things too. It'd be really weird, huh? You know, I credit my father as being one of those inspirational people in my life to have given me these ideals that women, my dad encouraged me to wear pants, and he told me that I should be able to work, and he encouraged my education too. He encouraged that I go to Syracuse for medical school. So, and my mother is the one who actually stayed home and homeschooled me too. So my family was very close. So I thank them for all those things. So what can you guys take out of Mary Edwards Walker's life? What can you say about her? Yeah? Exactly. That's the way to describe it. Yeah?
She's
Yeah, that is a good way to describe it. Yeah? Exactly. That's a good thing. That's very true. I think looking at her life, it's good to look at her and look at her as an example. And if there's something you really want, you work hard enough. If someone says no, you keep working hard until you get it too. So, anyone have any questions? Any questions for Mary? Any questions for me? Yeah?
When did she die?
She died in 1919. Now, 2 years after her medal got taken away. And so she, every day since her medal got taken away, she wore it regardless, because she knew she worked hard for it and no one was taking it away from her. With washboards. They had washboards back then. Yeah.
You guys in the war?
No. She died, she was, I believe, she was born in 32. I died when I was not in the war. I was old. I was old when I died.
How are you here?
When you died. The wonders of science and technology. They brought me back to life.
You're a hologram?
Oh, no, not a hologram. I'm really here.
How did they take your medal away when you still wear it?
They took away the honor that it had associated with it, and I technically still had the medal, but they pretty much stripped the title of it. I mean, if you ever look up Medal of Honor, there's different ways it looks. It changes the way it looks over time, but it still has the same meaning, and they took the meaning away from mine. So, yeah, I was pretty upset about that. If they had Dunkin' Donuts back then, that would have been great.